What's up, world? Welcome to Cage Minds. I'm your host, Micah. What's going on this weekend? Still Bellator, still Season 5. It's Event 55. This event features the Bantamweight semifinals. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, like we normally do, all 4 fights are going to be on MTV2 telecast. 2 super fights, the 2 semifinal fights. We'll get right to it. First of our 4 predictions. The first fight is the 5-1 Steve Gable is going to do battle with Ricardo Trelawney, who is 13-1. Gable, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, started it later in life, has now into his 30s, got into mixed martial arts. So far successful, like I said, 5-1. 3 submissions, 1 TKO, still working to improve his stand-up game, still not as technical or really showing one-shot knockout power. That to where Trelawney, his opponent, is a much more explosive and athletic, violent striker. He's ended fights more often with knockouts. He has 6 TKOs to 5 submissions. Very able and well-rounded in all of the mixed martial arts. With that being said, cardio could come into play. That's the one factor where we definitely can say Gable will have an advantage. He, on paper, has a grappling advantage, but it's not a strong wrestling base. So taking down Trelawney may be harder because he is a more physically stronger, more athletic fighter. I think that Gable's not going to be able to get the fight to positions that are advantageous for him. He's not going to be able to get to the ground. Both men are well-versed in the submissions. It's going to be stand-up. His technique is not as good. Trelawney has good power, great knockout abilities. He's going to end this fight second round. I'm seeing a knockout from probably a knee in the Muay Thai clinch. We're going to go with a knee in the Muay Thai clinch knockout in the second round. Moving on to the second fight, the Bellator super fight, is Travis Huff, who is 64-14, taking on Christian Impumbu, who is the Bellator light heavyweight champion. He's coming in with an 18-3 record. He's also coming in with the banner of the whole company on his back. As a company, the fighters have been 12-0 so far in Bellator super fights. So, of course, he wants to keep that streak going. Doesn't want to be the first guy to lose. None of them want to be. Huff is going to climb down from about 255, 260 pounds, where he normally fights at heavyweight, now dropping down to light heavyweight. A very experienced, well-rounded guy. But this weight cut is what is really going to be examined here. What does it do to his body? How much power does he still have? How does he act during the fight? How does the cardio react? What kind of power does he carry into the late rounds? Impumbu doesn't cut weight. A European fighter who walks around at about 203 pounds comes in at that, fights, uses cardio, his movement, retains a lot of power in his striking, though he knocks people out with vicious one-shots. 5 of his last 6 have been finished by TKOs. He has the ability to finish. He won the Bellator tournament with 3 straight TKOs. It's his cardio. It's that he keeps the same power, the same confidence, the same technique, the same abilities, 3 straight rounds. I'm thinking that Wuff, who is bigger, could try to use some wrestling and take Boom Boom down, but Boom Boom has very good submission skills that could back that off. Huff could be gassing. I'm thinking a 3rd round TKO that Boom Boom just outlasts him, outwills him, shows that cardio, moves in, moves out, makes him move around the ring and use that cardio advantage. We're going to go with Christian Impumbu with the 3rd round TKO. This takes us to the big part of the event where we have the semifinals of that bantamweight tournament. The first one, Alexis Villa, 10-0, versus Marcos Gavon, who is 10-4-1. Alexis is the Cuban defect, a Cuban Olympic wrestler, powerful one knockout power in his hands. Knockout of the year candidate, in my opinion, from the way he destroyed Joe Warren's jaw. Stiffened him up like a board, had his body straightened. I think his upside, even though he's an older fighter at 40 years old, is this so much. I think he'll be very successful in Bellator. The good wrestling base, along with the power in the hands. Nowhere are you safe. Galvon, who's been underestimated the whole time he was in Bellator, probably should have been the first fighter to end that super fight win streak after what he did against Joe Warren. Definitely winning the stand-up, nice and crisp. Not a huge amount of power, good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, not great wrestling. It just has too many questions to me. I think Vila is too strong, too powerful, good technique, good hands up, not too cocky, very humble, very aggressive, and very strong. I think that all equals out to a first-round knockout. Alexis Vila, in my opinion, will advance to the finals of the bantamweight tournament, a first-round knockout. That's going to take us to the second semifinal, where we have Eduardo Dantas, who's 13-2, the young phenom, versus Ed Wild West, who's 17-5. West made it to the last Bellator bantamweight final to lose to the champion Zach Wachowski in a 5-round unanimous decision. Dantas, a member of the Nova Nhau team, trains with such guys like Marlon Sandro, Jose Aldo, Diego Nunes. Comes from a violent, vicious Brazilian Muay Thai camp. His striking is on par, and it is vicious and violent like the rest of his teammates. A Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, of course. Ed Wild West has good submissions off of his back. He's used to be put in there by wrestlers. I don't think we'll see any grappling really exchange between the two of them because they're both based out of a kickboxing stance. That's West's deal. West outstruck using movement and accumulation of strikes, leg kicks, and punches to beat Luis Nogueira to get to this semifinal fight. We're going to stay standing. We're going to have a kickboxing affair. I think Dantas is more vicious, more violent. His strikes will hurt more. He'll make Ed West stay farther away. He'll make him run. He'll make him not want to be in the cage. I think that West will do enough movement to stay out of harm's way to last this fight all the way to this decision. I see it unanimously going to Eduardo Dantas, who will be the biggest upsided bantamweight prospect, I think, in all of mixed martial arts. Those have been the Bellator 55 predictions for Cage Minds. If you didn't get that, we'll walk through the winning picks one more time. I've got Ricardo Tironi winning with a second-round TKO. We're going to take Christian Mpumbu to win with a third-round TKO. I'm seeing Alexis Vila with the first-round knockout, again, advance to the finals of the Bellator Bantamweight Tournament, and I think he'll be met there by Eduardo Dantas, who will win a unanimous decision in a striking battle over Ed Wild West. That's been the Bellator 55 predictions for Cage Minds. I'm your host, Micah. If you're not, you should be following me on Twitter, Facebook. Hit us up, like the video. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.